Okay, so I was going to tell you about the marketing. You bring up marketing, and one thing I keep hearing over the course of the past year and a half, 2 years, is bad marketing. Bad marketing. I keep hearing bad marketing all over and over. Starting with Shazam 2. Shazam 2 was the first movie I kept hearing bad marketing. And I go to the movies a lot. I'm at the movies usually once a week. And I know because Shazam 2 kept getting delayed. Delayed. It went for months. And I feel like for close to a year, every single time I went to the movies, every time I saw a Shazam 2 trailer. Then the movie comes out, bombs. I heard people say bad marketing. I'm like, what are you talking about? That trailer has been playing on every damn movie for a year. Then it occurred to me, what is good marketing today? Because if you don't go to the movies, if you don't go to the theater, you're not going to see a trailer in the movie theater. If we're all streaming, I mean, I know they're pushing heavily into commercials on streaming now. Netflix has commercials, Disney Plus has commercials, but for a long time we didn't have commercials. So if we don't have commercials on our television anymore, we're not going to see these ads on TV. How do you market a movie now?
Well, I wanted to be a little more specific when I say bad marketing. When I say bad marketing, I'm saying the trailers themselves need almost to be looked at differently. I think audiences nowadays, me included, are accustomed to like the same type. Like there hasn't been an evolution from like, here's a pop song, we're going to do the slow version in the trailer, and you hear like the song. Like it's been the same thing for like years. Before that, it was the bwomp, and it's like now with like the Marvels and you hear Intergalactic Beastie Boys, it's just like it's kind of becoming a turnoff. It's like that's this movie and that's the song they're going to choose. I think there needs to be a new sort of, because I'm not into marketing. I don't know what it is, but I know that when I see these trailers and I'm seeing like a pop song play and they do like a remix or they do a remix of the old song, like it's just not, it's not new anymore. It used to be like cool and fresh, but to me nowadays it just feels like, oh man, it feels very old and tired. It feels old and tired. I think there needs to be a new trend. I don't know what's going on, because I think horror trailers, they're still doing basically the same thing from like 2009, right? And they haven't needed to readjust whatsoever, and they still get asses in seats. So I could be wrong.
You know what kind of trailer they've totally abandoned? And I didn't even notice they abandoned it until I went back and watched old trailers, and I'm like, oh crap, you don't see this anymore.
The voice.
They got rid of the narrator. You know, we used to joke about the inner world guy, but it was, you don't so much see the trailer. I always remember the Stallone Daylight. There are two ways out of the city: the bridge or the tunnel. We're advising you to not take the tunnel.
I'll go farther than that. Remember when there used to be teasers for stuff that wouldn't even show up in the movie, and you almost knew it wasn't going to show up in the movie? We've like Terminator, like the Terminator 2, they had like the machine being built. That was never going to be in the movie. Like they made teasers outside of the movie, back in the day. They don't do that anymore. Now it's just like, if you get a teaser, you're going to get actual shots from the movie.
Yeah. But they do put scenes in there that eventually get cut from the movie too, because we didn't get, speaking of Shazam 2, one of my favorite moments in Shazam 2 did not make it to the final film. And that was I just threw a car at a dragon. I love my life. Like, I loved that line. It wasn't even in the movie. But
yeah, the narrator thing, I feel like the narrator trope of the trailer has been replaced by actually, or maybe looking at it this way, if they get the character to talk about the trailer. You know what I'm saying? Like they sort of do it like in a Madam Web style thing, but do it good.
Guess who just joined us?
There
Noah's
are a lot
here.
of movies now. Oh, hi, Noah.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hello.
Hey, Noah, is Kyle joining us tonight? We haven't gotten Kyle in here yet. I've invited him every week. One of these days, man. One of these days.
He actually goes to bed pretty early.
Okay.
Just because of work in the morning, which is fine.
I get that. I can't stream until everyone goes to bed. So.
Yeah.
But what were you saying, Perp? You were saying about the
voiceovers, I feel, have taken, like in terms of character voiceovers and stuff, have taken over. It's like, my name's Jimmy. I'm like in like the comedy.
That's true.
The comedy action hijinks or something.
to key off that, I feel like maybe just movies in general have more character narrations in them, so it's easier to just lift them,
Mhm.
from the movie or from the B-roll or whatever. And yeah, because you're right. I do notice that a lot. Joe, you bring up a good point though about how to market, because like I said, I really don't like to watch trailers, and it's pretty easy for me not to do that because I go to the theater about 28 minutes after the showtime starts, and then I get there for the movie and miss all the trailers. And other than, I mean, I do have commercials on my Hulu and on my HBO. But HBO commercials on Max are like 15 seconds. They're not trailers. It's just a quick plug for whatever the hell. But Hulu has like real commercials. So sometimes I will see, like I've seen the preview for Fly Me to the Moon a bunch of times, to talk about a current movie. And the Despicable Me 4 trailer, I've seen a bunch. But like the 30-second version, from that. But yeah, like I don't watch live TV for the most part. So I don't see trailers there. So yeah, I feel like unless you're actually going to the theater or read online, industry variety type stuff, how do you even know movies are coming out? Really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I think
I-
we're
it's a good
movie
question.
buffs. We got our finger on the pulse because we're
Right.
movie buffs. But even me, like earlier this year in January, the movie ISS opened up. That came out of nowhere. Like
Yeah.
I'm following this stuff, and I never heard of that
I had
movie.
never heard of it until the week it came out.
Nope. And I love the lead star. I love the lead star, and even I didn't know. She's one of the best new talents in Hollywood that was underseen for many, many years, besides on Broadway. And even I didn't know ISS was coming out.
I love that movie, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw it. I know nobody saw
I
it in the
haven't seen
theater,
it.
but it's
Yeah.
it's really good.
No, who is the woman that's in it?
That's Ariana DeBose.
Oh, okay, sure. West Side
Yep.
Story.
Yep.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
and
Yeah, I didn't get to see that one.
speaking of Broadway,
It's really good.
speaking of Broadway and marketing, a couple months ago, I went to see Back to the Future, the musical on Broadway, and I'm standing in Times Square. And everywhere I looked, all around me in Times Square, ads for the Fall Guy, just everywhere. And and then I hear somebody say, "Well, the Fall Guy failed because there was no advertising." And I'm like, "Well, not that everybody's standing in the middle of Times Square, granted, but I'm like, it seemed like they were not sparing any money on advertising for that film."
Yeah, I
No.
agree. I saw tons of ads for it, and the two of them love to promote. I mean, Ryan Gosling was on every talk show that would have him, and Emily Blunt. She's a
This
great
is
talk show
also
guest as well.
it's very strange because there's a Ryan Gosling after he was nominated for Barbie, an Academy
Right.
Award, which he stole the show from, so you'd figured he'd be
Yeah.
hot and people want to see what his next project was. Again, maybe it has something to do with the trailer having that freaking pop song playing. Like, it's just like, oh guys, we've seen this dozens of times. I think marketing from that standpoint, they need to do something else. They need to think of something else. There needs to be a new trend.
Now, I'm probably only speaking for like myself, Dan, our friend Degrassi Knowles, and maybe that junk man when I say this. But when I saw the trailer for Fall Guy, I was disappointed that they were going with like Bon Jovi and not the unknown stuntman. I'm like, you're doing the Fall Guy, you're not going to play the unknown stuntman? That's like the theme from the show.
I thought the whole thing of the fall, not to go off on a Fall Guy tangent, but that's a weird one because I mean, it was a show, and it was, I guess, a mildly successful show. It ran 5 or 6 years or whatever. But I've never seen a second of that show, and I'm a huge like TV buff.
Really?
It
Okay.
didn't really do reruns. I didn't even really know the premise. So
See, I used to watch it on Fox 29, like on the afternoons, like summer
okay.
afternoons.
I was probably watching Fat Albert or something. If I know me. So yeah, that was a weird property to adapt and call it the Fall Guy. I mean, it had the loosest of connections. They should have just called it something else.
Yeah, it was in the Hollywood blacklist, which is like
yeah,
it's been in there for like years. So I guess it's just like, oh, let's pick it up now. Let's do it.
As a Fall Guy movie, or just
as the Fall Guy movie.
Okay.
Yeah. I could have sworn I saw it because I was checking out all the lists from every year, and I could have sworn it was even in 2008. Like they've been trying to get, and finally, I
Wow.
guess they got Gosling and the director from Bullet Train. It's like, yeah, that's what you need to package that movie
Right.
to get it out there.
I should take a moment and plug if you're in the Philadelphia area or anywhere within driving distance of the Philadelphia area and you love the Fall Guy, then you should come out in September 7th and 8th to I'm sorry, I'm getting lost in my own screens here. You should come out to Oaks, Pennsylvania to RetroCon, where you can meet Lee Majors.
Lee Majors.
Yeah, there he is. The
I
Fall
worked with
Guy.
him.
Wow.
You did. You worked with him on Evil Dead.
And Evil Dead. He was in my episode. He was the dad. Had to do the whole fight scene with Ash versus Lee Majors. Yeah, he's an absolute treat.
So there you go. I'll tell him you said that when I see him in a couple months.
Nice.
Who else is going to be there?
Well, Lindsay Wagner. You can meet both of the Bionics. They're
I was
both going
going
to
to
be
say
there.
she was the Bionic Woman, that's for sure.
Donnie Most.
Love him.
Oh, Donnie Most.
Ralph
Anson.
Malph.
Yes, Anson. I almost said Anson Mount, not Anson Mount. Anson Williams.
Okay.
If you go looking for Captain Pike, you're going to be disappointed, but you get a Potsy.
Wow, love that.
Well, Donnie's a good friend of mine. I talk to him quite often. He's a very nice dude.
Really?
Really sweet guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I've talked to him. He asked me, could I do a review of his 2 movies? And I went, sure. Still gotta do them. But he asked me, would you do them? And I'm like, sure. And then out of nowhere, the fan went, I gotta ask for his autograph. I have him right now. I gotta ask for an autograph. So he was so kind and sent me 4 instead of just 1.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And I went, wow. He's a really sweet guy. Just he loves his jazz music now. He's a great singer now too.
Yeah, and from what I understand, he goes by Donnie Most when he's singing and Don Most when he's acting.
Yes.
I think that's the way he breaks it down. So. Monkey Man in the house. I love the monkeys. Agatha trailer was a great horror movie tribute trailer.